All right, everyone. It is Monday, December 12th. Nice move on the SPY today, but we're still in that range that we've been in for a while now. I still like that we didn't take out those sellers too badly. I'm sorry, the buyers too badly from November 30th. If we can get above there, that'll be a good thing. But that's a good start to the week. Closing at the highs, everything along those lines. I showed you last night what the key levels I think on the weekly chart are, and we're working our way up there. Qs look pretty good today too, and so do the small caps. Didn't really take out ever the high of yesterday too much like the other two charts, but that's not bad. Apple, like I said, hasn't been acting all that well. We've had some news out recently. Didn't even take out yesterday's high. So again, it's still in a range. All these range ones are hard to trade because you don't know how long it's going to stay in a range. Look at how the ADX down here is going so low. This means there's no. I bet you this is probably even in a squeeze. Yeah, it's a one dot squeeze that actually fired to the short side. If it keeps going like this, it's going to be in a squeeze. See, that's the squeeze here fired to the short side. It's kind of going against the trend, so that's why it's tough to really. You got to really play with that squeeze um, signal to really have an idea. But until we start trending, if you're not trending, it's very hard to trade unless you're going to sell or unless you're going to do some option vertical play that involves something not moving very well. But you see how the ADX is real low. If you even go to the ATR, ATRs are starting to move down on these. I didn't check the ATR and the SPY with you guys today, but that's moving down a lot. I mean, you see the let's go to a year. So the 1 year daily went as high as up here at almost 11, and now we're sitting down at 6.4. So that makes it when the ATR goes down, that makes it easier and harder to trade. What I mean by that is when the ATR is down, you don't get a whole lot of movement. So you need movement for the trade to work. But when the ATRs are high, sometimes it moves too quick in the wrong direction. Makes it harder. So it's one of those things where you got to pick your poison. Low ATRs are better because you're not getting bumped around that much. But then again, you also have to deal with trying to make sure it moves. So you always give yourself a little bit more time when the ATRs are high or low. So Amazon's still holding up. Not a real big move today. I mean, you can play it off that bottom around 85 if you want to, but that's really not going anywhere either. Tesla down today. Again, if it breaks out 160, it could go a lot lower. 161, that's only recent support. Remember, the weekly chart is just showing that at recent support. Nothing. It's around that 155 level from that resistance from again way back in 2020. If it breaks that, we could see maybe somewhere near that 161.8 at about 110, 115. I think is where it could go. Going back to the daily. On Google, again, you're trying to get above that 103, 104 level and hold those recent lows from back there in the beginning of November. Now, we put Netflix on the radar yesterday because if it was trying to break through that high, if I could get the right symbol up there. So watch for it to push through that gap resistance at 329.82. I don't think it's going to go a whole lot lower unless it starts trying to get to this low from the 30th at 280. We're also looking at Lowe's and Home Depot, basically watching them on that weekly chart, but we got to get above this 215 on Lowe's. And we're making that move on Home Depot above 332. Remember, this is what we're looking at on these charts. They're both very similar. Now we see the earnings on the weekly chart. That's not going to be coming for a while. That's actually out in February 21st. See them a little bit more on the weekly chart, obviously. Visa is trying to work that 217, 218 level. If it pushes through there, again, like I said, 227, 225 to 235. And Goldman Sachs, again, that 380 level is kind of key to the upside. We got to get through there, but again, you see it's not really paying sole attention to that. but it needs a little bit of a reset after that recent run. And Bank of America is a similar chart, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that one on the weekly, we're trying to watch that 37 area, see if we can get back above there. And then you see, I know we see stocks like, okay, what was hot today? Like DocuSign was hot today. From an earnings report on the 8th, so that's a few days ago. It's still moving. This was just a gap level, so let me get this out here. I mean, these are charts that I really don't like to trade because they're just so much in a downtrend. I mean, DocuSign has been in a downtrend more than 2022. Actually, yes, in August of 21, it started to make this move down. But it really hit is whatever this earnings report said on the end of November of 21. So that's the one that said, it was all the way up at $300 or more, and it's down to 54. So it makes it tough to trade these when they're low. But if they're going to move like this, maybe some shorts covering, I'm not sure. You got a trend line at the 100-day simple. You just got to watch the momentum of it. You see the volume starting to come out on the move. But those are tough to trade. You just got to find that momentum idea. Probably work it off the 30-minute charts or something like that as it moves up. Draw your fibs on that one. The other thing you want to note, I noticed when I was doing the research yesterday that all the oil stocks were getting beat up, but now you see a lot of them at the top. VLO's made a move back up, just holding the bottom. Let's go back to the daily charts on these. So I've been down for a couple of weeks now. Went up a little bit above 140. Is that a move back up, or is that just to stop the slow? But you always like to notice when a sector is hot or cold. And I didn't put anything in the video yesterday about these because they were cold. But you see VLO up there, Chesapeake sort of in the same realm. But Chesapeake making a bounce. We're trying to get that for a run over 105.55. But then you see PSX. We got to see if these bounces are going to continue. You get a gap up tomorrow, you might want to play it off of that, even though these candlesticks aren't really textbook. Halliburton's up here near the top. That didn't take out yesterday's high. What else we got up top here? I'm looking for. Those are about the only ones. So they're not all up here. Those are just USOs up here near the list that's coming off a low. So again, these momentum trades, the ones that are moving today, maybe not tomorrow, just maybe move today, don't really have a good looking chart. Like any of these, you got to work those off of intraday charts. Pick your time frame. Just know there's going to be a lot of gaps in those time if you go on those intraday charts.